Hi, I wanted to take a minute here to talk through some experiments I've been doing in EXA about structures in VR music apps. In this one anyway, where you can sort of build the sound pads that you're wanting to use in all sorts of interesting patterns. When you open up the instrument by default, you get some, sort of typical keyboard layouts and some drums, a pretty interesting flower-shaped synth, and a kind of guitar strumming tree of strings, which is neat. So building on that, I wanted to think about what other musically relevant structures could you make that might be helpful for people trying to perform in these new formats. So I found these out of the big keyboard. I found these 4 chords that I liked and wanted to be able to play. But I was trying to think, what can I do in VR that I can't do in the real world? And in this case, that is bend my keyboard around into another shape. So that's how I got this. So this is the same notes down here, but in this nice circle. So I can just make a circle here and go through my chord progression, which is pretty fun. And then I added the extra pitches upward on the sort of this axis so that you can go. So you get this nice dynamic in timbre, sort of up and down, and then you get the chords in this kind of loop, and then different things here. And with percussion, we're going to switch to the regular old sticks here. If you think about percussion, a pattern on something like a hi-hat, right, is a repeated thing. It's this sort of pattern. So could you make a structure that mirrors your hi-hat pattern? If I want to make a circle, this gives me my pattern, right? The nice thing about this is that it handles dynamics well, because the problem that I had with a lot of the VR drum sets in particular is that they want you to lay things out like this, where it sort of looks like a drum kit and you hit it like a drum kit and it sounds, velocity sensitive and all that kind of stuff. But to me, these just almost always end up feeling like it's never going to be as satisfying as whacking a real drum, right? Because there's no feedback, there's lots of things. It can still be great, and I've laid this out because I like how it worked for these sounds, these sort of artificial sounds. But for other things, it'd be nice to not have to rely on this sort of velocity of hitting a thing in midair, because it's hard to use consistent velocity for a target that doesn't really exist. So with circles, the cool part is, if you do a little circle, then you're going to get a quiet sound. As you make your circle bigger, but stay on the same beat, that requires that you're basically using a faster velocity through the pad, just by the nature of physics, I guess. And so it's not that I feel like I'm hitting harder, it's that I'm spinning bigger. And I'm spinning at the same speed. So the same speed, but bigger. The thing that changes is going to be the velocity. So this is my little circle. If I make my circle bigger, I basically can't help it but to get louder. So once you can make a circle consistently, which I still need to practice more, obviously, you can make circles of all sorts of patterns. So same circle here does triplets, or here does 16ths, or maybe that's 30 seconds. And the same rules apply. Smaller circle. I'm not thinking about hitting something harder, it's just the circle size. So, if you have these things, then you can build this. And this is fun. And other than looking like a cactus, I can play my normal beat here, my normal part, as if it was a regular drum on the drum set you would get by default. But if I'm doing a circle to the left, I'll get 16th note patterns. And if I move my circle to the right, I'm going to get a 16th triplet pattern. So listening to the metronome and go. But I'm always hitting this part on the beat. So anyway, that's the kind of idea, and that's what I've been playing with. And I made a little song, so here's my kind of demo song using some of these things.